excellent. Actually, it reminds me from the roads from the World Championship rallies, Greece, Mexico, Argentina, mixed of them, and the stages are on very good condition, and I enjoy them, all of them.
But they're all going to have to beat Cody Crocker. Already the new pairing of Crocker and Dale Muscat has won in China and in New Zealand, and the trifecta beckons.
There's a few definite improvements with the car, and one for us, the major one, probably is suspension. I think we've really improved the ability to absorb the rough ruts and rough roads.
Subaru teammate Dean Herridge won here last year, but crashed in the recent Rally New Zealand, and it's a challenge to find the right balance.
The diffs have changed since last year's car. We obviously have a new shock absorber supplier, so it's just a matter of getting that data, feeding back from that to be able to make good decisions on the event.
For the first time, the prototype Corollas are allowed to start in a subsidiary event of Rally of Canberra. Simon Evans has never been more confident nor more comfortable.
It just feels unbelievable. The car feels like an extension of your arms and legs. You know, it's like when you come up to a corner, you just grab onto a tree and just swing around it, and that's what it feels like.
It's been 4 years since Canberra's Neil Bates has been able to contest his home event. Focusing on the positive, he sees his team's starting position as no bad thing.
Yeah, where the roads have been freshly graded, it'll be a disadvantage. Where they haven't been graded, I think we'll have an advantage.
It's a strong field. Juha Kangas is back, dressed all in blue in a new role with the Subaru satellite team. And Scott Pedder is Mitsubishi's works driver in a car that team manager Alan Heafy says is a major leap forward.
I had the opportunity the other day to have a driver tell me that he thought the car was too fast. Now, that's the first time in 22 years of motorsport I've ever had that said to me.
But until the rally starts, no one really knows. The only thing for certain is that to win, it's going to at least take the spring and energy of Australia's national symbol.
The scene is set. We are ready to go rallying. 3 stages before the first service: Hardies, Sherwood and Green Hills. Ali Brunning picks up the action.
An early morning fog hung over the stage start as the competitors arrived for stage 1. The twisty and technical 14.28-kilometre Hardies stage was to test the drivers first up. Last year's Rally of Canberra winner Dean Herridge was first on the road, testing the limits. While fog impeded visibility, the biggest problem for the drivers following Herridge was thick dust thrown into the air. Just getting used to his new Subaru, Juha Kangas took a brief off-road excursion, overshooting a corner, costing him more than 20 seconds. With a brilliant drive, Dean Herridge managed to hold out his informed teammate Cody Crocker to take stage 1. Asia-Pacific competitor Toshihiro Arai was first at the international field in 3rd. But the surprise performer on the stage in 5th was Scott Pedder, immediately fast in his new factory Mitsubishi Evo 8. Dean Herridge moved seamlessly from Hardies to the flowing open roads of Sherwood, increasing his outright lead on Crocker to 12 seconds. Crocker struggled a little on stage with suspension setup and tyre choice, finishing 4th. The performance of the stage came from privateer Brad Goldsborough, second through Sherwood, 8.7 seconds behind Herridge. And Scott Pedder proved his pace once again, 3rd on stage.
8 left, opens to crest, 8 right, 4 left over brow.
Praying for traction, the competitors slid dangerously close to the embankment as they wove along the loose, dusty roads. Carrying too much speed into the corner, Japanese driver Katsu Taguchi made contact. It was a costly error. A branch on the bank split Taguchi's radiator, draining the coolant and blowing the engine. On liaison between stages, Taguchi retired, a devastating start to his APRC campaign. Juha Kangas was lucky not to sustain damage, making contact on the same corner. On stage 3, Crocker fought back, taking Green Hills, despite running wide on a left-hander. Kangas also had a better run, just 0.2 of a second behind, followed by Herridge. In 4th, nothing was going to slow Scott Pedder down. Watch the top right-hand corner of the screen. He didn't miss a beat as a kangaroo was caught napping on the road.
20 slow crest, 20 downhill turn 2.
Throughout the first 3 stages, Jeff Argyle drove consistently, 7th on every stage. And with a solid drive on stage 3, David Hill snuck into the top 10 overall. At the end of stage 3, Herridge maintains his overall lead, finishing third on Greenhills. Crocker is 8.3 seconds behind, with Scott Petter impressive in third. Toshi Arai remains the first APRC competitor in fourth. In the Capital Rally, the Toyotas blew everyone away, with all three cars recording times faster than the Rally of Canberra leaders on stage 1. Simon Evans leading the charge. With a 10-minute gap between the two fields, the Toyotas took advantage of the swept roads, registering blistering times. Ben Barker put in an impressive effort, finishing second on stage 1, beating his boss, Neil Bates. After struggling badly on stage 1, Martin Lintott found his feet and slotted into fourth overall by the end of stage 3. Simon Evans won all three stages and is leading the Capital Rally with an impressive overall time of 29 minutes, 25.3 seconds, making him the fastest car on the road. Neil Bates was second in the Capital Rally, 18 seconds behind, followed by Ben Barker.
Katsu Taguchi came in on a long tow rope. Co-driver Mark Stacey was on a short fuse.
The problem is the organisers won't listen. They know this rally is notorious for dust. And we consistently say you should have got to have 3-minute gaps. But they design their program around 2-minute intervals between cars. It doesn't work. It's not competitive. It's not fair for anybody in the event. It's crazy. We out of the event for today, maybe for tomorrow as well, because on a corner couldn't see in the dust and hit the bank and damaged the wheel and the radiator.
The vulnerability of these cars is never better demonstrated than with Katsu Taguchi. When he went off the road, a big stick pierced the grille and then went straight through the radiator. Their cylinder head had warped and the engine seized, repairable for Sunday's leg 2, but it was no consolation when organisers declared a 3-minute dust gap for the rest of the rally. Neil Bates also came close to being caught out, not by dust, but by mud. His newly positioned turbocharger intercooler is at the very front of the Corolla, and it clogged with mud on stage 2, sending turbo temperatures soaring and requiring replacement. For rally leader Dean Herridge, being first on the road was proving to be a real advantage.
Dust was played a small advantage for us. Car feels a little bit loose in the rear and we're probably a little bit tentative, but very early in a technical rally and we just didn't want to make any mistakes and ease our way in and build the base for the weekend.
On the morning stages, the mixture of thick dust and the sun burning with the intensity of a spotlight had created a severe hazard for all crews. Taping their windscreens was the only solution as they prepared for the next set of stages.
Now is the time.
The X Factor really is something to shout about.
Welcome back to the Subaru Rally of Canberra. The Toyota team is banking some of its most competitive times yet in the new Corolla Sportivos with Simon Evans and, of course, Neil Bates. Everyone's had a rethink on tyres during service, and that means it's going to be interesting between our rally leader, Dean Herridge, and Cody Crocker. The teammates are split by 8.3 seconds. John Smales picks up the action in stage 4.
Cody Crocker took a calculated risk for the next set of 5 stages. He was the only one to choose the hardest compound Pirelli tyre, banking on rising temperatures to make them work, and the gamble paid off. On Cowan South, he was a massive 5.6 seconds faster than teammate Herridge and closed on the lead. Jussi Välimäki was also quicker than Herridge. He too had chosen a harder tyre from team owner MRF, and he'd packed 2 spares in the boot to change halfway through the 60 competitive kilometres. The strategy was to pay dividends. On softer rubber, leading privateer Brad Goldsborough lost 2 places. He slid wide, hit a bank and flattened his left rear tyre.
Wheel on.
With the heat increasing, a change of rally leader was looking inevitable. On Cowan North, Crocker had the confidence to charge and he leapfrogged Herridge to take first place. Cutting corners, Scott Petter was also faster than Herridge. But on the the relatively short 9-kilometre Blewett stage, the West Australian fought back, taking the stage win from Crocker to move to within just over 2 seconds of the lead. The loose surface favoured his softer tyres, and Herrich's number 1 position on the road was a big advantage as following cars were blinded by the dust. Lying 7th, New Zealander Jeff Argyle hit a rock flung up by Scott Pedder. The flat front right tyre cost him almost a minute and dropped him down the field. Next stage, the technically challenging repeat of Green Hills, and it was Pedder's turn to puncture. The Works Mitsubishi dropped from 3rd to 6th. The impact so great that momentarily the engine management system went into shutdown sequence. Now Toshi Arai was in a podium place, but he was under huge pressure from Jussi Välimäki. The Finn had fitted his new spare tyres and with far greater grip was closing rapidly. Across Green Hills, he took almost a second out of the Japanese. Later in service, Arai complained of a lack of top-end power. But Green Hills belonged to Cody Crocker. His 3rd victory in 4 stages allowed him to move 4 seconds clear of Dean Herrich as they moved to the Super Special Showdown at Fairbairn Park. Arai was clinging to 3rd place from Välimäki ahead of Juha Kangas and Scott Pedder. In the Capital Rally, Toyota's Simon Evans retained his lead without taking a stage win, as team leader Neil Bates charged, claiming 3 out of 4 of the Forest tests. Between stages, Bates had swapped his tyres around the car to equalise wear, but Evans didn't, and the miscalculation showed as his car squirmed its way untidily across Green Hills. Young Ben Barker beat both his teammates on Blewitts with a time only 0.3 of a second slower than Rally of Canberra stage winner Dean Herrich. 1 stage earlier, Barker had had a big off when he entered a corner too hard, threading the trees and emerging unscathed. On none of the 4 Forest stages were the Corollas faster than the Rally of Canberra winners, but they were proving to be both reliable and competitive.
In rally, you'll often hear the term super special. It describes a short stage head-to-head contest. Ordinarily, crews race against the clock, but on the spectator-friendly super specials, they get to race their rivals as well. Our first for the season is here at Fairbairn Park. It's a dirt track motorcycle racing facility, 1.82 kilometres in length. The centrepiece is the bridge jump or underpass. Right now, Cody Crocker is your rally leader, and he's ready on the start line to take on Juha Kangas.
3, 2, 1, go. 84 left open, 70. 6 left quit, 70. 2 left narrow, slippy. 50. Danger, narrow tunnel, jump, 50, to outside lane 5 left slippy long, 70, last line 6 left clip, 80, 4 left tightens in, 70, jump into 2, slippy 2 right in, and 4 left in long, 70, 6 left clip, 50, flying finish into 2 left narrow, slippy, 2 left narrow, slippy, that's it. 27.7, do you remember the times last year? It was 26 or something. Yep. Well, that was shocking then.
So, although slower than last year, it was a brilliant run by Cody, beating Kangas by 2.2 seconds. He was also faster than teammate Herrich by 1.9. Interesting to note, by looking at the top 10 on this stage, the front-running competitors were covered by a little over 4 seconds. proving once again it's easier to lose the rally on a super special than it is to make big gains. After the break, the action continues. Go!
It's the season finale, so how will it end?
Sorry, I'm not Sarah.
I'm an idiot.
Seems cool.
No, Kelly.
I want you to be my wife.
Who will she choose?
I want to give it a shot.
Summerland, 6:30 tonight.
Strap yourself in as we search for the ultimate tricked-out dream machines and their makers on rides. This jam-packed box set takes the art of customising to a new level.
One thing's for sure, if it's cool and going in a car, it'll be here on Rides.
Available now at all good DVD retailers.
What's this, Ralph? Oh, a new promotion for our 28-point suspension safety check, boss. I mean, for only $14, you get a complete inspection of all steering and suspension components, Petter's drive-on shock absorber test, an obligation-free analysis, and written report. And, boss, all this is carried out by Petter's expert technicians.
Petter's, straight advice specialists, you understand.
And no bull.
Later, Charlie.
Hello, Clark. Where do you think?
Hey, Tiger. How's your leg?
You too can play your cards right when you choose the ANZ credit card that's right for you. Play your cards right with an ANZ credit card now.
Get the deodorant with the ultimate kick. Ultra refreshing and gentle to the skin. Enjoy the freshness that works and works all day long. New Nivea deodorant Aqua Cool for men.
Shannons don't just insure Gogomobiles. No. Shannons insure all the classics, even the recent one, with agreed value, choice of repairer.
And Shannons don't charge you any extra to pay your premium by the month.
So when the car comes first, insure it with Shannons. You're an enthusiast, so call Shannons on 134646.
Monday on 10 News, you've seen it in the movies, now see it in your home. Every cat owner's dream come true. Kitty litter gone forever.
Pretty well trained within the 2 weeks.
10 News, Monday, 1st at 5.
We're gearing up for a fantastic fight for the end of the opening leg of the Subaru Rally of Canberra. Right now, Cody Crocker and Dean Herridge split by just 0.7 of a second as the service crews go to work.
A cheerful Cody Crocker arrived at service. A less dusty run and a harder tyre compound allowing him to overtake his teammate overall.
We've made good progress and I'm happy that we've caught up to Dean given the earlier dramas we had and it's going to be a tough battle though. He's picked up the pace as well. He got a bit of time on one of the stages on Blewitts I think and I'm back on us and it's all on, that's for sure.
With only a small margin to Crocker, Herridge seemed unfazed by Cody's pace. Dean changing to a wider tyre for the next 2 stages.
We're probably finding ourselves struggling for a little bit of grip on some of the stages, but not too concerned.
After an unfortunate 2 stages, slipping from 3rd outright to 8th after a flat tyre, Scott Petter was still hopeful.
It was one of those funny events where you sort of can drop a couple of minutes and sort of plod through, and there's always a possibility of some other people having some bad luck as well.
In the Capital Rally, junior Toyota driver Ben Barker was all smiles in service, having just beaten both his teammates on stage 6 Blewett and the shorter Super Special Fairbairn Park.
I've sort of gone back out in the second runs and sort of told myself to keep it neat and staying nice and tight, and it's obviously working.
For the second run over Cowan South, Crocker was charging, increasing his outright lead over Herridge to 7.8 seconds. On narrower tyres, Kangas also had a solid run, finishing the stage second. After adjusting the suspension in service, Jussi Välimäki finished 3rd on stage and leapfrogged his APRC rival Toshi Arai for 3rd outright.
Ja huomio nyt 1 ja oikein nopea risteys.
On stage 10, Crocker broke the 9-minute mark with a time of 8:59.6, increasing his outright lead to Herridge to 9.2 seconds.
You're guilty. We don't know. We're just looking at the times now. We've been pushing on a bit this afternoon. We want to try and build a bit of a gap, and hopefully we'll be car one on the road tomorrow. That means we have to sweep 1 or 2 stages, but the rest have been run, and we get no ducks, which is going to be fantastic. So that's what I'm hoping.
Herridge finished the day well, second on stage. His second pass over Cowan North, 12.3 seconds faster than his first run earlier that day.
Plan for tomorrow?
Has to be attached. I mean, we're only halfway through the rally. We're in a very good position. We've built a really good base today, so it's all the fight for tomorrow.
In third, Juha Kangas was also markedly quicker on his second pass by 13.4 seconds. Meanwhile, an intense battle waged between APRC competitors Jussi Valimaki and Toshi Arai. Scott Petter's hopes of clawing back some lost time were dashed on stage 10.
Five left into 3 right over crest.
Another front right flat. He arrived at the end of Cowan North 2, his demeanour as shredded as his tyre.
Same situation, rock in the middle of the road. This one wasn't as big, but and took about 6k to go flat, but happens.
Petter showing his frustration as he changed the tyre. With Petter dropping to 8th, Brad Goldsborough moved up to 6th overall.
Fighting through, right? People are on.
In the Capital Rally, stages 9 and 10 saw Simon Evans stretch his lead to 15.3 seconds over teammate Neil Bates, despite some wayward driving and blinding sun.
It was a bit rough in there. Gee, I hurt my wrist coming in under brakes with some massive ruts. Couldn't even see them.
Bates and Barker, second and third respectively on stage, were troubled by the dusty conditions.
In the Capital Rally, Simon Evans has amassed a 15.3-second advantage over fellow Toyota pilot Neil Bates. Ben Barker has a comfortable margin over the privately entered Corolla of Martin Lintott.